Hello, I'm Rebecca and welcome to my YouTube channel, Crafting with Rebecca. I'd like to say thank you for coming and visiting me here today as I share about my cross stitch that I've been doing for the last couple of weeks and some shopping that I've been doing as well. As you may remember, I fractured my foot a few months ago and I have finally this week been released from the moon boot. Like, woohoo! So that's been great. However, I've had some exercises I have to do as my ankle's a bit dodgy now because it hasn't bent for a long time. And one of the exercises is having to do squats. Well, I can't feel the pain in my ankle and foot anymore because my thighs are just killing me. I have trouble sitting down, I have trouble getting up, I have trouble walking, but we're going to keep doing them because I need to make my ankle stronger. So I'm excited to share with you a few things today. I have a finish, I have 2 new starts, I've got lots of shopping that I've done and 2 older projects to share with you today. So first up, let me share with you my finish that I've got. So I've been working on the Cranberry Rose stocking by Rosewood Manor and I started it on the 8th of June and I finished it on the 14th of August. So now I've got all the beading done and I have to say it looks fantastic. So here is the whole stocking. Okay, doesn't it just look fabulous? But let me bring it in to show you. So the colour's gone a bit funny. So, but it's so sparkly. I can't get a good photo of it to share how lovely it looks. But the beading is amazing. But I had bought the precise number of beads that they had said. It said 5 packets, so I got 5 packets. Well, I needed every single one of those beads. I actually had to end up doing some couch surfing to find the beads that had slid down the side of the couch when I had a couple of oops moments. So I don't have any spare beads unless they're still stuck in the couch. But guess I don't need them now because I'm all done. So I do have a day off in the next couple of weeks from work. So I do plan to get my sewing machine out and I'll be finishing that up. So hopefully maybe next time I'll be able to show you a finished stocking. So for my first whip that I have to share today, it's my Peppermint Purple 52-week sale. So this time we've done weeks 33 and 34, which are, where are they hiding? These top 2 squares here. So don't they look fantastic? As always, I really enjoyed stitching it. I timed myself on these and I have to say I might be getting a little bit faster. And I certainly did the last one. I think I counted it was 29 minutes. So I'm very happy with that. But I just love doing it. And I really love having a project that I only have to get out once a week. I do my 30 minutes and then it's all done and I don't have to feel guilty about it or able to do any more on it until the next week. So I am really enjoying that. I also wanted to share that Claire from Peppermint Purple has a choose your budget design which she changes out each month. I think I've got the last 2 and this is where you can actually choose what price you want to pay for her beautiful designs. I think I'm going to need this month's one, but I'll leave a link for you down below and I'll see if I can pop a picture in here to show you what this month's one is. I'm excited to share with you my next project. It's Oh Holy Night and I can't remember who it's by, but it'll be on my info panel beside here. And I can't remember what count fabric, although I do think it's 14 count. But I did some tea dyeing and I have to say I absolutely loved how it turned out. So let me show you how much we've done so far. So can you see? Doesn't the fabric look amazing? I was so excited. And look how much stitching I've done. I've done tons. But I'm so excited with how the fabric turned out. I followed a couple of YouTube videos, which I'll see if I can link down below. I put it in my tea and let it soak for a bit, and then I did not know that you put it in the oven, but does that make the lovely darker sections on the fabric, like the darker bits at the bottom here, they just make them really stand out. So I'm so excited with that. So according to my stats, I've only done 193 stitches, which is pretty much just all the music notes, and plus I did do some gold on here with a couple of stars. There are more other parts to it other than just the music, but there's a lot of backstitch there which my markup program doesn't count. So I feel like I've been doing a lot more than the 2 hours that the program says, but I feel like it is. I've actually been using the sewing method for doing the backstitch, so I'm usually an up and down stabber, but this time I've sort of been doing that and just making sure my stitches lay nicely. It's just a little bit faster that way, because it does get a bit boring doing the up and down black stitch lines. So I've been doing them in sections. I did actually have to do some frogging right with the first stitches I'd actually done. So in the middle here, when I had put it in markup, I missed the fact that it had a 2-stitch overlap, and I ended up stitching the same bit twice basically. And with music you can't get it wrong, and particularly I'm giving this to a friend who is quite musical, and she'll know that there's something wrong with the music. So I'm really enjoying stitching on that, and I'm hoping I might have a finish for you next time, but we won't make any promises that we can't keep. So for my next project, it's another new start. Last year, my travelling buddy and I went to Vancouver and to Alaska for an Alaskan cruise. But before we hit the cruise, we actually went to Vancouver Island because we love a good garden, and we had to go and visit the Butchart Gardens. It's an amazing garden that's well worth the visit. We actually had the shortest flight I've ever had. It was 30 minutes, but I swear we were literally in the air for probably 10 minutes. So that was fun. But these gardens are just beautiful. They were actually started in 1904 by Jenny Butchart. Well, actually not quite then. That was when her and her husband moved to Vancouver Island to start a cement factory, or quarry, a cement quarry. And once the quarry they dug out all the limestone that they needed, they had this great big hole. And Jenny decided to start a sunken garden. And this is the most beautiful garden. So it's just mind-blowing and so beautiful. And eventually they turned their whole property into different sorts of gardens. So there's a beautiful, beautiful rose garden, there's a lovely Japanese garden, and a formal sort of Italian garden as well. So it's just lovely, and we had a fantastic day exploring there, and we got lots and lots of amazing photos of flowers and of the gardens. So my friend actually for Christmas last year turned one of the photos of the sunken garden into a cross stitch for me. So I'll show you the picture that's on the pattern, and I will try to find the actual photo that it's based on. So here's the picture. It's come up a bit dark. So I'll try and add a better picture in. So the kit has come, it looks like they might have started to print the pattern on it, but onto the fabric, but it only got 2 rows, but they did send a picture of it, and fortunately I was able to contact the company and they were able to send me a PDF of the pattern, which I've been able to add to markup, so that's been fantastic. Otherwise it was a slightly challenging pattern to kind of read. So it's come with lots of lovely, it looks like DMC threads, if not, they certainly appear to be DMC colours. So I've put them all on a floss drop because they came with the little tags on them. So there's certainly a lot of green, although you can't really see it here. I haven't put all of the green, the extras that they've given on there. So there's certainly lots of green. So let me show you my progress. So here I've done just a little bit of the sky at the top here so far. I've never used gridded fabric before, so I'm finding that interesting. It certainly helps with counting, so I'm trying that out. The one unfortunate thing with this fabric is it's extremely stiff. It's not very flexible, and so far I haven't had much luck getting it onto a hoop. Also, it's a bit hard to get on a hoop when you're so close to the edge as well. So we'll see how we go when we get a bit further in. I might see if I can force it, because I have to say my hands are getting a bit sore from trying to navigate the fabric. So like when you roll it up, it doesn't, I don't know, it's just feeling a bit funny, but we're getting there, and I will persist with it because the grid will help. So we'll see how we go. So I'm looking forward to finishing that one and seeing how it turns out. Oh, and I've forgotten to tell you how many stitches I've done. I've done 480 stitches so far, and I can't remember the total, but I'll put it on the screen. So for my last whip today, it's one I'm very excited to share with you. It's the Moment in Chalk, and I've finished the centerpiece, and I've also finished the boxes for the months that are to go in, and then I've actually made a start on the big border around the edge. I have to say this is quite large. I'm glad, I didn't think the fabric was going to be big enough, but I'm glad it certainly is, although it looks like I have not started in the middle, because one side definitely looks like there's more fabric than the other. Apparently I can't fold in the middle and start from there. Who knows? So here we go. So there we go. You can see all the squares there. So I'll bring it in a bit closer. So doesn't that just look great? I'm really happy with how that's turned out, and I've made a bit of a start on the border. So I'm quite happy with how that turned out. It took me about 3 or 4 days to do the squares. It just seemed to take a long time to do. And then I had to just get a start on the border just to look like I'd stitched on it. So far in total for the project, I've done 5,684 stitches, and that doesn't include the back stitch for the boxes. And I think since the last time I shared it with you, I've done 1,583 stitches. So next up, I'd like to share my shopping with you. For someone who didn't do a lot of cross-stitch shopping, I certainly have a bit to share. So let's dive in. So just before the last Flosstube, I had actually received my project bag of the month by Rose Crafty Corner. But I wasn't able to share it at the time because I had to wait till everybody else had received theirs in the post, and I didn't want to spoil anyone's surprises. So this is a beautiful bag. I was so happy when I saw the fabric. Look how pretty it is. All the hummingbirds on it. It's just so lovely, and it's lined with a lovely sort of aqua colour on the inside. So it's so pretty, and I'm so excited to finally be able to start using it now. So there's also a little matching Ort tray, which has the clips that you fold up, so then you can pop all your little threads in as you stitch. There's a really pretty bag tag, I guess you'd call it, from Kylie, and these are so pretty. I can't wait to pop that onto the zip. Oh, there's 2 there. How lovely are they? And I just love the colours that she used. There's this cute little bird needle minder. Not needle minder, it's a thread cutter. Duh. But how cute is that? There was also some Chupa Chups and a tea bag, a little thimble, and then Ro always includes a little project for you to do, plus some of the supplies for it. So this time it's a beautiful little hummingbird to create, so it includes the fabric and some of the threads and things as well. So, and oh, I think I hadn't undone this part of the packet yet, but look, there's a beautiful little, I think it's a needle minder in there. And look, it's a good place to store your needle as well on the back. How lovely is that? So, I've bought a big pattern to share with you, and I'm really excited. I'm hoping I can start it this week. So, I've been eyeing off this pattern for a little while, and I wasn't too sure, because some people have made some comments about this particular pattern being generated by AI and that they didn't want to support that sort of thing. Well, I've been tempted with dragons, some of the dragon stitches I've seen out there, but I haven't come across one that I like as much as I like this one. So it has come from, I am supporting a company by buying it through them, so hopefully that helps them out. But look, here is Chromatic Dragon. Isn't he just the most beautiful? I just love all the colours in it. So he is by Mikey Bergman, and I bought it through Pain Free Crafts. So hopefully I'm supporting those people there. But I just can't wait to stitch this. Something completely different to what I've done before. But there's nothing wrong with trying different things. I just love the colours. I just think it's so beautiful, and I can't wait to start stitching. It has 70 colours in it, and when I went through my stash, I only actually needed to buy 2. I am going to do it on 20 count gridded Ada. I think the grid will help with doing this one. And I'm waiting for that to come, so hopefully it will arrive next week, and I'm going to dive in straight away because I just can't wait to do him. I also had to buy another PDF pattern, which is from Hands On Designs, and this is Huga Holiday, and she has a couple of different colorways that she puts in the pattern for this. So as you know, or as you may know, come to know, I am a sucker for Christmas. Probably won't be doing it in the blues because my Christmas colors are red and green, so we'll have a play with the colors and see where we end up with that. So I came across Crafty Threads, and she's a local Brisbane girl who has an online craft business, which I will share down below, and she had a sale on some of her Ada cloth and some other fabrics as well. So I picked up a couple of packets of, can you see, some gridded Ada there. I've actually bought them for my mum as we're going to a retreat in October, November. So hopefully this might help mum with her stitching. And I also bought, because Dragon uses a lot of black, I've also bought my first cone. And when I looked in the packaging, there's 425 meters in a cone. I think I have enough black thread to last me till I die. So we'll see how long he lasts. But there's a lot of thread there, but I'm excited to try my first cone out. So on Tuesday this week, I had the day off work, and I was able to catch up with my stitching friend Rachel. We've known each other for a very long time, and it's been lovely to reconnect over the last year, sharing our love of cross stitch. Rachel and her husband are currently travelling around Australia in their caravan, and they also have a YouTube channel called My 40 Foot of Rope, where they're sharing their trip around Australia. So I'll leave a link down below so you can check out their channel, so you can see the beautiful countryside that is Australia. Also, there's a lot of red dirt in there. So Rachel has been de-stashing all her stuff as she's now living in the caravan, and I have been the lucky recipient of some of the things she's been getting rid of. She has this she gave me this lovely little Winnie the Pooh, like, it's kind of like a big pencil case. It has a zip on the front, has a couple of dangles on the end, but it had some goodies in there, which was very exciting. So there's a packet of needles. There are 2 of these little magnetic needle holders, which I think is a great idea, particularly if you are traveling. But it's a lovely way to see your needles, so I'm quite happy with that. And there were 2. And then the front zip had two lovely pairs of scissors, which I'm so glad to have. There's some beeswax in a little thing, and some of the clips as well, some of these little plasticky clips. So pop them away so we don't tread on them later. Then she gave me this lovely project bag that I think she bought it on her travels, but she's decided she doesn't want it. And it has, I thought they were clips, but no, they're buttons. So it has lovely for some smaller projects there. I think I've got a project in mind for that, so I'm looking forward to putting that to use now. And then she's got this beautiful little project bag, and I have to say I really love it. The colours are just beautiful, and the plastic on the front's glitter, so you know, you had me at hello. So I'm rather excited by that. I've really got into project bags and I'm finding them very useful. So when we caught up, we actually went to All Threads, which is a cross-stitch supply shop in Brisbane, and then we headed over to the Nest and to Coco X Stitch, which is on the other side of Brisbane. It was a lot further away than I thought, but we had a lovely chat in the car, so that was good. So at All Threads, I bought some fabric. I bought this lovely green 18 count Ada, I think. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, but I was thinking perhaps one of my peppermint purple designs might look nice on there. I am getting the chaos threads from Cottage Gardens, so maybe one of those will look nice on the green. And I also got a little piece of black as well. And something I needed before I had, I needed it prior to doing my stocking with the beads, I've got a tacky bob. Although for some reason I really want to call it a tacky bill, and when you open it up, this part is sticky so that the beads will stick to it. I also got some thimblets, which are some like stickers that you stick onto the end of your finger when you're stitching. Sometimes I do find I must poke the needle in the same spot all the time and I get a sore finger, so that will be helpful for that. And Rachel and I both got this one. It's a beautiful, it says a zipper pouch at All Threads, and I just love it. Like, I'm a patchworker as well, or sort of a patchworker, so I just love the patchwork designs on this. And then we headed over for the long drive over to the Nest and to Coco's. And when we got there, it was we needed to stop for lunch. So we had our lunch, and then we went to go to the Nest, and it closed at 2, and we knocked on the door at 2:02. So we should have looked before we had lunch, but I guess it saved us some money. So never mind. So then we headed down to Coco's, and only to find that she was closed. We had the day wrong. However, the lovely Denise was in the shop and she let us come in and have a look around. So thank you, Denise, so much. We really appreciate it. So of course, we had to buy a couple of things. We wouldn't have wanted it to be a waste of her time. So let me show you what I got. I've got quite into needle minders, and I quite like them now. So these are stuck together. So I got this lovely little Christmas one that is a caterpillar cross stitch one. So I'm looking forward to putting that on a Christmas stitch. And then I had to get this one from, it's Jumbly Oomph Designs. Of course I had to have the sewing machine one. Then I got an oval hoop. I do love an oval. It's nice to frame in something different. And then I've really been drawn to the biscornues that I've been seeing stitched, and I had to pick up 2 patterns there. So I got this beautiful strawberry one that is from Erin Elizabeth Designs. Doesn't it just look lovely? and I think that was one that Denise actually had stitched in the shop. So once I saw that, I had to have it. And then I also bought the Bee Scornu, which is also by Erin Elizabeth Designs. Doesn't it just look lovely? I'm so excited to give these a try. They just look so nice. So after a battery change, a window close, because my neighbour is mowing, I'm back to share with you my last little bit to go. So I have 2 old projects that I'm going to share with you. My first is actually the wedding one that I did for when my husband and I got married. However, I bought this kit quite a few years before we got married. I bought it when we were on a family trip in 1993. And from a cross-stitch shop, I think it was a fabric shop at least, that was in Solvang in California. So let me share it with you. So this is a lovely one. It's a dimensions kit and it's called Two Hearts Wedding Record. It was a stamped cross-stitch, so I'll bring it in. Doesn't it look nice? So I actually stitched the majority of it before we got married, and I just left the date and his name, just in case, after we got married. So we got married, as you can see, on the 3rd of February 2001, 321, so we can remember it, and I bought it in 1993. So yes, we were together a long time before we got married. I've decided that for my old projects, so I don't forget which ones I've shown you, I'm going to work room by room throughout my house just to share with you. So these are the ones that we actually have in our bedroom. So the next one is also a stamped kit. I actually can't tell you when I did it. I don't have any dates on there. Apparently I didn't think that was important when I first started stitching. So here we are. So doesn't this one look lovely? It's quite large, as you can see. So, and this is Floral Heart Wreath, and it's just so lovely. Have a closer look. This might have been where my love of wreaths began from, but I do remember when I had that framed, that the picture framer said it was a very challenging one for them because it was a little bit puckered, particularly the centre part. The centre part here was quite puckered. I have always stitched on a hoop, so I'm not quite sure why, but maybe I had the fabric a bit tight. So for my plans for the next few weeks, I plan on starting the dragon, and where I'm going to start, it's going to be all in the black, so it's probably not going to be very exciting. Although, to be honest, it's actually not all black. There's a lot of confetti in there, shall we say, of dark colours. So hopefully I'll be able to get a colour in, but we'll see. We don't want to say we're going to stitch lots because we've got lots of others to do as well. I would like to try and finish Oh Holy Night as well. That seems to be stitching fairly quickly, so we'll see how we go with that. And then of course I'll be stitching on my other projects as well. I like to try, I don't want to just do one day at a time, because some days I only get to stitch after work or before work, as the case may be. So that like only gives me an hour or so. So I really would like to, I generally seem to stitch at least 2 days in a row on a project, depending on what I want to get done. Like I did stitch I think I stitched 4 days in a row on Moment in Chalk, because I just really wanted to get those boxes done. So we'll see how things turn out. The best laid plans always go out the window, don't they? I also wanted to share a couple of Flosstubers that I've been watching lately. I'm really enjoying seeing Holly from the Timeless Stitchery. She's in England and she does some lovely work, and I just love how she's chatting with us. I feel like I've got a new friend when I watch her videos. I also love watching Pam from Ditsy Daisy Crafts and seeing her updates. And Pam, you're doing an amazing job with your videos, and keep up the excellent work that you're doing. I just love seeing all your stitching, and look forward to your updates each time you have a Flosstube episode come out. I'm also enjoying watching Jason X Stitches, who's in somewhere in America. I'm not quite sure. He might be in Texas. And I love seeing the projects that he works on as well. Him and Pam are doing a stitch along shortly, so make sure you check that out. I'm also so excited. We're counting down now to when the Cross Stitches of Brisbane retreat is on in Maroochydore, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to be with stitchy friends for a whole weekend. I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait for the time to come. So I just want to say thank you all for watching today and for seeing all my cross stitch updates. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Happy stitching!